What's one thing you should never tell your supposed other? Size of X's. X's being better. His dick is too small. Compare to X's. Anything along the lines of normally I would have gone for people with insert specific characteristics you like but your so doesn't have. If you've had a sex dream about someone you both know, I can't help what I dream but it's definitely not reflective of conscious feelings. I would never tell him that I used to stalk him online before we dated. Don't criticize someone without an actionable request. If you'd like for them to change their behavior, go for it. Ask them. If you know a sad thing is unchangeable but you'd like for them to give you emotional support about something, ask them about it. But don't tell them you miss their pre-pregnancy body, or tell them you don't like their family, or it's weird that you like reality TV. If you want to tell someone to change something about themselves, have the guts to compassionately and directly tell them what you want them to do. But never just give them a vague criticism and hope they'll be guilted into behaving like you want them to without your having to ask. This is something I will take to my grave. I was not at all sad when his mother passed away. I wouldn't say I was happy about it, but I do not miss her. Sure, I felt bad that my husband was sad, but I personally was not. I'll feel the same when his dad passes. Your dad's dick is a lot bigger than yours. I know. Mom told me. Anything about sex you've had before. It doesn't work out. If I can't talk about my past experiences, in a way that conveys what I like/do not like, then this isn't the person for me. Now if you're talking about just random casual stories that you're sharing with them, then yes, can see that not flying with most people. I think it's the difference between saying I really want you to kiss my inner thighs versus I loved it when my ex kissed my inner thighs. Both share your preferences, but I would imagine the former would be better received by most people. My boyfriend told me at a very vulnerable time that he preferred hanging out with a female coworker of his as it was easier and less stressful. Till this day I still can't get that out of my head even though he says it's not the case anymore. It doesn't help they're still too close for my liking. Belittle them in any way or form. Of course it goes both ways. It's important to be kind to each other, even when you were arguing or they did something stupid. I heard both my parents criticize and belittle each other's appearance/achievements. Even if I am jealous of something I won't resort to cutting down my spouse to feel better. You'll never love them like the beginning of the relationship. But you could also love your so more than in the beginning of the relationship. In my experience my ex did it to be malicious. My ex told me that I ruined his chance to be with a white woman. We're both black. I'm happy to read the word X. Throwing their trauma in their face, especially as a flaw, during a fight. You are meant to make them feel safe. Don't take that away from them. Being very complimentary of an ex in any way, especially if that ex has something your current partner doesn't and cannot have. This can be anything from dick size to height to job to ethnicity. I know more than one guy who got really insecure about their GF dating a guy before who was much taller, had a bigger dick, or way better job, and have also had girlfriends get super insecure because their ex claimed to like certain types of women and they didn't fit the bill. I'd say criticizing physical attributes they cannot change such as height, dick size, bald/losing hair, etc. None of these things are within their control and it's cruel to point it out. Men are very aware as it is, we need to be kinder to each other. Explicit details of your previous sex live with exes or their secrets. I don't want to hear about how someone blew his dick or whatever. I know he had sex before but don't want to hear about. I'm happy to hear about preferences etc. or how we can do things differently. That I pluck my nipple hairs. I'd sum it up as, never tell them anything that's hurtful, but can have no solution. I think it's okay to share anything that may hurt if it's for the purpose of explaining a change you want, and they have an opportunity to rectify it. But if you're just saying something harmful because you want them to know it and be hurt by it, then that's wrong. For example, saying, "T've actually always found this specific position that you and I haven't tried yet to be my favorite in the past," is a lot different than saying, "My ex and I had the best sex I've ever had." I'll never call my so mean names and I never say fuck you or fuck off. Totally agree. There's a big difference between saying you're acting like an asshole vs you're an asshole. Your passwords to your bank account. Any amount of sexual activity that you did with a previous partner. Generally, you should not talk about your previous partner because that can really mess your current partner up mentally. I'd never tell my husband I'm slightly resentful that Elle can't have foods I loved in the house. Severe allergies suck. But I deal with it because I love him. I do miss bell peppers so much though. About that life insurance plan you took out in their name last year ago while you're in line in Home Depot to purchase a shovel, rope, and axe. Don't want to give away the surprise. Never tell your so about your past dating life like those girls thinking it makes them attractive by bragging how many men tried to fuck them. I told my current boyfriend that at first, I didn't see us together. Now, I did follow that up with now I can't see myself with anyone else, but looking back I'd probably never say that to anyone again. He wasn't hurt by it, but still feel bad about it. That you dreamed about having sex with someone else. It's a dream for God's sake. I've seen too many Reddit posts about that on relationship advice subreddits. Stop doing that. Crushes who they know and they still see. If you think before you speak. Common sense goes a long way. If it would offend you if someone says it to you, then don't say that to them, but that works with just about everyone. Respect and kindness goes a long way. Don't start something to make someone feel insecure. If that's what you're going for to be hurtful, then maybe it's time to let them go. Anything you can't take back or that they won't be able to unhear. Every disagreement with my GF, I really try to never say anything that will continue to cause problems after we are done. I do a mental check before I say anything of is this something that can't be unsaid. There is a saying in Russia, a word is not a bird, if it flies out you cannot catch it to put back in the cage. Soul would say any things that you know for sure can hurt them for no reason, especially contempt and belittling and things told under emotions. Sometimes words can hurt almost physically and be stuck with you forever. Love him, not in love with him. No one will ever love you as much as I do. Like I get you're trying to be romantic, but that's toxic as hell. Your prior partners were better in bed / cooked better / did anything at all better really. That I never had an orgasm with him. Honesty without compassion is cruelty. That said, I think if you want to say anything to your partner, as long as you are considering compassion, first and foremost, then you are good to share. I made the mistake and told my ex that I'm really turned on by MFM threesomes. The look that he had on his face was the worst sight for me. It was a mixture of disgust, despair, sadness, and disappointment. It's okay to go through my phone or read my diary. No secrets. Made this mistake too many times. Ladies, remember that you are never wrong for wanting to keep a sacred space for you and yourself only. If a man wants to invade your privacy, you are never obligated to give him permission. If he can't handle your alone spaces, he can't handle you. Find a man who can do better. Lots of love for y'all. To echo what a lot of others have said, I don't talk about my exes, ever. If he asks something, I keep it vague, general, but honest without going into loads of detail. I have nothing to hide, but there's nothing there he really needs to know, and I also don't need to know about his exes. Other things I don't tell him: my weight history, what my periods are like, how hairy I would be if I didn't get a monthly wax. I could probably think of loads. There's some stuff he just doesn't need to know. To attack their character when they are trying to bring up constructive criticism. Also, expecting them to be vulnerable with you and then turning around and using it as a weapon when your behavior is called out on. I see this a lot in especially young women. Love and romance has no place if defensiveness and manipulation and a lack of accountability reign. That you've been with someone larger than him. It came up in a natural way the other day in conservation, and I don't know why my fiancé was so hurt. Surely he's been with women whose breasts are larger than mine, or whose bodies are nicer. It was a hard hole to dig myself out of, which sucked because regardless of the fact that his penis isn't the largest I've ever seen, we have the best sex and best connection, and that's what matters. Anything that's demeaning, demoralizing, insensitive, or puts them in a bad situation. My lovely sweet boyfriend once told me he missed his big cutie, me. Luckily I know his intention was to say my cuteness is big and not my physical size. Am currently struggling with my weight / looks. I explained to him how his words can be misinterpreted, and while not intentionally malicious, he should think about how he phrases things even when his intentions are the best. But every partner is different. Know your partner, know your situation, and know your words. Never tell them that it's fine if they fulfilled their needs with others. I hardly used to get horny. Ours was a long distance, so didn't even sext with him. My dumbass thought instead of restricting him I should allow him to do it with others. It killed our relationship.